Our product, I think we could start to argue, really has shifted over the last 10 years from something that people knew was sturdy and safe and secure to something that is all of those things and luxurious and sophisticated and technologically advanced. So we're moving into a luxury product space, and we're moving into a luxury experience space. And I think that this is sometimes a challenge because we have to have a luxury product and a luxury brand before we can, and a luxury experience before we can become a luxury brand. And it's only through becoming a luxury brand that we can truly reach the excellence that we need to be in the space that we need today. The difficulty, and honestly a challenge for all of us in the retail space, is that providing a luxury experience for one person is not going to be the same exact cookie cutter replica of what I provide for the next person wanting a luxury experience. When I have an older clientele, a traditional Volvo customer, my behavior, my language, how I interact with them might be very different than when I get, and I've gotten these customers, 28, 29-year-old software engineers who make $400,000, $500,000 a year, who are coming in for an XC90, and they're going to be buying a new vehicle in 6 months. They probably already have 3 in their, in their lineup in their garage, and they just, right? Different clientele wants a different interaction, and we have to be ready to work on the fly and interact in those different ways. Now, we can say we've got a target buyer or we've got a target demographic for S60, V60, and hopefully prepare ourselves a little bit, but at the end of the day, we do need to remember each experience is going to be absolutely tailored, if it's truly premium, to that person that's in front of us. But these are people who see themselves in a certain way. I am stepping into the luxury segment. I aspire to be respected and in control. I want to be recognized for the success I have now achieved. I am someone who is on the move. I'm ambitious. I have a certain kind of lifestyle. And so knowing that someone imagines themselves this way means now that we have to treat them however they imagine themselves if we want to, honestly, if we want to treat them in a luxurious manner. Because they expect that there's a certain amount of excellence and there's a certain amount of prestige that will come with this purchase, and that prestige, you understand, is offered very much in how do I interact with you. If we're going to appeal to that customer, then we have to provide something different, and frankly, we have a lot of room for growth here. But it is important to deal with because we have customers, again, depending on their background, they're going to want a different type of experience. If you're someone like me, you kind of want it to move quickly. If you're someone like, I'm going to use my mom as an example, right? She wants you to just slow down and take the test. And I have to say, both of those extremes of clients, I would think all of us probably have moments where we complain about both, right? We're like, oh, that person moved too fast through the process. They didn't give me a chance to do a proper walk around. Or we have the customer that's taking 4 hours and they've come back 3 times and we're like, that person's driving me crazy. So we have to be patient and realize that we have to be with the client on whatever journey they need to take. Do we all agree on that? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now, the luxury experience can really be bucketed into two sort of groups. And I hate to say it, but if I'm providing a true luxury experience, and you could look at walking in the door today, did we do a good job? Did the St. George's do a good job or not? Based on what was the attention to detail? If anyone visited the washrooms, I would be surprised if there were even any water on the counter. Every little washcloth is rolled and everything. There's a woman in there, I think over the week I've seen her a gazillion times. She kind of disappears in and out, making sure everything is perfect at all times. So the attention to detail, both in terms of the environment and the engagement, should be there. Hopefully when all of you came in, Shafrit or myself or Caitlin or Alex said, welcome, good morning, here's some breakfast, enjoy, right? So we're looking for something that shows true personalization in that attention to detail, both in how you're interacted with and the environment that you're physically walking into. There's also another bucket, and this bucket is very important. It's one that, frankly, Adam mentioned, we've sort of, at Volvo Canada, done a slight disservice in that we've talked a lot more about expertise over the last few years in terms of, do you know your product? Are you doing a thorough delivery? Are you doing a thorough walk around? Are you asking what they want and need out of the product? So we need to make sure that we have all of these intact, and frankly, this is where the challenge becomes. Do you all control the environment at your retailer? No, right? We don't control everyone. We don't control the receptionist and the F&I manager and every single person in the process. Now, some of you might have a little more hand than others, but these are the details that a truly luxury customer is looking for, and they're looking for it again and again and again. There's another aspect, in addition to attention to detail and to the engagement level and the accuracy of your information, which is how am I communicating all of this? If you were to look at body language, tone of voice, and words, I'm just curious, because all of you communicate all day long with your customers and with one another. What do you think is the most important in terms of what are people really reading, or what are people really hearing, or what are people really feeling from you? Is it mostly words, mostly tone of voice, mostly body language? Body language accounts for 55% of what people hear from you here. The tone of voice accounts for 38%. The words account for 7%. And my favorite quote is a Maya Angelou quote where she says, and Oprah requotes it all the time, people don't remember what you say. People don't remember what you do. People remember the way you made them feel. So that's why we can get away when we're talking to a puppy or to a baby. We can go, oh, you're so terrible, I hate you, yes, right? But they don't care because they're hearing our tone of voice, they're seeing our smile, and they feel good. And so we project a lot, and particularly in showrooms and on service drives. We project a lot by what our physical presence says. If you finally get the chance, and this kind of goes back to actually what we're talking about, if you finally get the chance to meet someone, they are looking at, do they walk in, and again, this is, am I standing here like this smoking a cigarette outside? Because I can guarantee you a luxury customer that sees this is not thinking they're walking up to the most premium experience ever. If I'm standing like this and I'm waiting for them and I greet them, they're expecting and receiving something different. So this body language becomes critical when you have that moment to make that first impression. But you're 100% right, and I think everyone needs to think about this very seriously. Many customers today, including me, including your customers that you just sold to, they want details, they want stuff by text and by email, and that's not what this slide is about, but it's very critical because when I send emails to my retailers, I would say 20% of the time do I get one that's correctly written, that has a signature that's appropriate, that has sentences with, grammar, et cetera, punctuation, things like that. Frequently, I see texts come through that are totally inappropriate. However, when you get the text or you get the email that's amazing, it makes life so much easier. And that is what funnels those customers that are sort of testing us now with digital tools. They're testing us the same way customers used to test us by walking through the doors. We get tested in a digital space, and it's only through winning and succeeding in that digital space that we actually get to the moment where we get to meet them and even practice these skills. Now, first impressions we sort of talked about really quick, but how long do you think it takes for someone to decide if they want to do business with you? 5 minutes? 10 seconds? 15 seconds? Couple moments? The research tells us 7 seconds. So 7 seconds is a pretty quick time to win someone or lose someone. There's also data that says if you lose someone in that 7 seconds, if I say he's not making eye contact, his body language is really closed, he's not smiling, whatever. If I decide that I don't want to do business with you in that first 7 seconds, imagine how many times it takes to recover. The number is 20. It takes 20 re-experiences essentially for me to give you a chance again. So if we lose a customer in 7 seconds, we really don't get them back. And that's hard. It's hard because a lot of that, again, with body language, it's what am I wearing? Do I look professional? Is my hair done today? Is my makeup crazy? I hate to say it, but we're being evaluated on everything at every moment, and it doesn't take long for someone to dismiss us. Particularly, again, the more discerning customers that we're getting and the conquest customers that we're getting that don't have a history with Volvo. They don't have a reason to love us yet. And I'm sure that many of you or most of you wear a name badge. And it's interesting, in this room, there are a lot of people wearing Volvo branded clothing. So probably a customer walking through the retailer, and I look kind of to you in parts especially, someone walking through the retailer hopefully might notice that you work for Volvo so that if they're looking for something very simple like where's the parts department, they know that, oh, you've got a Volvo shirt on, excuse me, can you help me? But if you notice when you go somewhere like an Hermes store, for example, people are wearing a name badge because I want to make a personal contact with my customer. I want you to know who I am, and I want you to feel that I'm your resource. My name is Celesta, and I want you to be able to find me. If you need anything, I'm your person. And it doesn't matter if I'm in parts, or in service, or in sales, or in management. It matters that I'm here for you.